I have to respond to certain things and be very blunt. Okay. So just hear me out. But this is not a charity project that I do here, it's not a hobby. I long ago decided that I wanted to do this based upon my own feelings, based upon people that I really respect that told me, you ought to do a show on YouTube and talk about the media and give your 2 cents every now and then and break stories. And we all know the Bay Area is a hodgepodge of both past and present media organizations. They've regressed, many of them, but nevertheless, they wanted me to talk, and I wanted to talk and provide for you a forum in which I can say, without any kind of bias, without any kind of feelings of being beholden to these people and their various companies, the ones that are working. And I would do so and make this program unique. Now, look, I'm no Night at the Opera. Some of you don't like what I have to say. Some of you watch. Interesting, many of you that don't like what I have to say, nonetheless, are the first in line to bitch and moan if I'm not there every day. And yes, because this is not a charity project, because I've decided to try to not necessarily prosper, but just have enough money where I could do this every day and not have to worry about the expenses, the time, the energy, but mostly the latter or the former, the expenses that go in with having a quality program. And I'm very proud in that regard. Now, last few months, I've been sick, fighting and feeling miserable and all that. You don't have to play the violin. I never asked for that. I'm just letting you know. I work my butt off to give to you programs, sometimes very good, sometimes decent, sometimes not so good. But I'm trying to give to you a forum in which at least there is dialogue or my monologue and to talk about the various forms of media here in the Bay Area, sometimes beyond. And I get quite irritated and annoyed and angry when I have these fools out there that rile me and try to bemuse me and satire me, saying that I beg for money and that I'm hawking for money. The truth of the matter is, there are billionaires out there. There are multi millionaires out there who also beg, if you want to use those words, for money right on their website, their la-di-da websites. And some of these people are quite good. They're quite entertaining. They've got pretty little sets and things in the background and these gorgeous bookcases. And some of them don't say much, but they got a beautiful set. Do I beg for money? No. I request, and pretty soon, as I've already indicated earlier in the week, that I'm going to rely upon donations, contributions, however you want to phrase them, for $15 a year. That's $1 a month plus $3. And I have no bones about it. And if there was any kind of question as to the quality of, for the most part, of my programs, that I wouldn't do it. But I do it because I need the money to continue on. And I was ready to pull the plug Not that you would have mattered, not that the world would have ended, it would not have. But I got good, cogent, and sometimes not so good, but feedback from people asking me to reconsider. And I said to them that, as I've done now, I would communicate with my audience and tell them my situation. But a few things. Again, I am not embarrassed by asking for money. That's how I live and survive. And I didn't want to go to a paywall because I wanted to make this available for everybody. I know quite a few people are doing very, very well. But quite a few people, excuse me, quite a few who are not doing that well. And I know in the tech factor, there's been massive layoffs in the tech world. Not just the tech world, but there's a whole series of things taking place in the country and the world that affects some of you's livelihood. I get it. For the most part, I've tried to be reasonable. If you can't afford $15 a year, I'm sorry. I compete against these various news sites. Some of them are newspapers who charge now $1 or my favorite, 99 cents for 6 months because even they are in a hurried frenzy to try to get anybody, even at the cost of belittling their own workforce by asking for a 99 cents for a subscription for 6 months. Are they begging? I guess they are by the terminology and definition I've heard from you guys. I want to make it also very clear, and you all know this, but I'm going to reaffirm it. Most of the trolls that I get, I thought at the very beginning were clever and had good jokes. And yes, they were annoying. And yes, they were somewhat cumbersome and repetitious and all that. But some of them made me laugh. The ones that I get now are just intent in their own simple little minds to annoy me and to bestow shame on me and charge me with begging. Guess what? You ain't doing that, number one. Number two, you got people like Michael Savage and people like who? Oh, you're going to be surprised if you aren't already. Mark Levin, Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly, all of these very wealthy, mega millions, some billionaires who ask for money every day, and more times than I do. And how about KQED has multiple pledge breaks every day and has the chutzpah to ask for $50, $75, even more. Excuse me. To offer you a 25-cent mug, a coffee mug, or some old CD involving Masterpiece Theater so they can collect from you. Of all the companies, the multi-million-dollar companies, KQED, what do they give you? Not a lot of local programming. For that matter, what do they give you? Really? A restaurant show? Oh, that's really, really wonderful. They don't even give you a newscast. They don't even do local programming. They used to do an auction, which was quite entertaining. They used to think about the idea of doing a nightly newscast, which wouldn't be such a radical idea of a massive corporation that has tapestries and all these beautiful art figures in their own lobby, yet they have no nightly newscast. Their only real programming is the programming that they don't do and they aren't a part of. They just get it distributed and they show it to you and those millions that give them $50, $75 so that they can take that money and put it in their slush funds for the most part. Are they begging? Is KQED begging? Well, 27 times a day on average. Maybe they are. I think so. And guess what? My content is a lot more entertaining. And I'm trying to fetch $15, $1 a month plus $3 so that I can live, so that I can put on a program or an opinion or two or what have you to investigate leaks and scoops that are sent my way and give to you one of the reasons why you come here is the non-spin, non-BS that you get by all these companies, whether it's the networks here, the, the local stations, the little radio that we have, the preponderance of crap and dreck that you get foisted on nightly at a radio station that used to be a credible all news outlet, but it's nothing now other than what it is, a absolute garbage radio outlet with thousands of commercials and traffic reports, even when there's no traffic and even when there's no weather. Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a one-man band here, a one-man show. And you may like me, you may dislike me, and I try to give to you an unfiltered opinion or a scoop or my own feelings about various local media, which I do on a regular basis, minus the time when I've been sick and trying to fight whatever this crappy virus, bacterial infection, whatever the hell it is, that has haunted me for over 2 months. And I had a relapse of it. All the while trying to tell you that it not only affects me, present tense, but it's disabled my ability to come on and affect whatever brand that I have, and that is to make you like it, not necessarily me, but maybe what I say, with not the most elaborate backdrop, with not little shiny microphones and graphics, but you're much more sophisticated than that. You don't mind that lack of gravitas. You come here to watch me. And I know for some of you, it's a pain. For some of you, you prefer me to write, but because of various physical ailments, I can't write like I used to. But I can do things and communicate with you and talk to you and be open about it while all the time not necessarily making all the people happy. That's impossible. And that's not just me. But at least giving you something to which you can watch and see and observe and provide feedback, good or bad, about your assessment of my assessment. I've always been clear about that. So, yes, I need the cash. I am a one-man operation. I pay all my expenses and I survive on your donations. Some of you have donated multiple times. I will continue to repeat this. Thank you. Especially those of you, excuse me. Wheezing is a bitch. especially those of you who have written to me and said, don't always agree with you, Rich, but you're there. You might be outspoken, but at least you don't hide and say anonymous crap. Correct. My name is right up on the mask there. And when I criticize and am overly, shall we say, annoyed or irritated at anybody or anything or any company, there is no mystery as to who is ripping who. It's me. I don't shy away from publicly lambasting people because that's not my missive now. My missive is to give you something to think about and to talk about, and sometimes just to reflect. My opinion is my opinion. I don't want to hurt anybody, but the nature of what I do is hurtful by definition because I'm criticizing. I don't go after anybody's family or kids. I'm sorry, folks. So when I'm out soliciting funds, I am not embarrassed. I am not flabbergasted in a negative way that I do this. I decided a traditional paywall was not viable because I know a lot of you are legitimately having a tough time. Or maybe you're on a fixed income, or maybe whatever, you've been laid off, but you still want to come and watch me. Or, I know a lot of you prefer to read me, but that ship has sailed, as I've explained. But I've tried to do my best and try to make it fair. And I want to emphasize, if you don't like this show or me or whatever, don't watch. I'm not trying to be snarly when I say it like that. Simply don't watch. I don't want to wreck your lives. But please be respectful of my want to operate and do something. God willing, I wish my mom was alive today to watch me. That discusses and analyzes various media, whether it's local or national, even international. And so when I say contribute to my cause, please, I don't think $15 a year is outrageous. I think it's a damn good deal. I was almost going to say something else. And yes, you get the original Rich, blemished and all, and polished sometimes, and sometimes not so polished, especially when I'm fighting some kind of a cold that my body simply cannot reject. And when it does, there are relapses. This is not a charity deal. This is a show that wants to succeed and is getting rave numbers, like when I first started writing the blog, and word of mouth. And again, I apologize to many of you for being out there and not really being there. But folks, I was sick. I couldn't get up and operate. It was a combination of the nose and stuffed up and headaches and sinus and allergies, whatever the hell it is, going to the hospital, getting my lungs checked and my head checked and my heart checked and all this, that, and the other. No fun. Sympathy, not wanted. Understanding, yes. Sometimes I will give you what you want in scoops, maybe an opinion or two or three. When I have the cash, I will give you quality shows, do as much research and investigation. And I continue to do that even when I was sick, because there's a lot of stories out there that you ought to know about. in which they, the companies, some of the reporters, some of the anchors, some of the executives and the GMs and behind the camera people don't want you to know. That's why I'm here. And no, I'm not going to undercover everything that needs to be undercovered. But I'm going to give it my damnedest and try to provide for you a place in which they can't mess with me. And I'm not talking about opinion, I'm talking about stories and all that. And also, I will do my best to get to you interviews that I've had already. Some notable newsmakers like anchormen, like reporters, like people like Somerville and Ross McGowan and Michael Cardoza and various guests and news people. I will continue to try to acquire interviews, but when you're sick for almost 2.5 months and feel like crap, that's somewhat of a difficult thing to accomplish. But I will do my best, and hopefully, when I get better, I'll have all the means necessary. Your contributions are vital. Without you guys, then I can't do this. It's just simply unattainable. Finances are everything. So your $15 donation is greatly appreciated and is allowing and allows Rich to do what he loves to do. So, minus the noise and all the shouts and all the belittlements aside, with your help and gusto and contributions, and I know for some of you, I've lost for whatever reason. I think I know why, but that's fine. I'm not going to always please everybody or even a small minority, but I'm going to give you substance and I'm going to give you out and out scoops that these other publications, some of the Bay Area, outright rip me off, take my story, and don't even have the professional cojones to credit me. Some of these companies with millions and millions and millions of dollars, corporations. I'm sitting here just trying to not only not lose, break even. Hell, I wish I could break even, but just have the means to which I can give you a show and buy a few things like a decent cup of coffee or tea or a banana or uh, a protein bar minus sugar. That's impossible. But you get my drift. So, yes, I absolutely need your help. And your contributions, donations, feedback are welcomed, appreciated. And I will personally thank all of you that contribute to me. Go to my PayPal icon. You'll see it. It's on your laptop or your desktop. You click on that. I take everything cash, credit cards of all kinds. PayPal is a 100% secure site. You do not have to have an account with PayPal to donate. They allow you to do it, and it is 100% safe and secure. Thank you, thank you, and thank you for your help, your support, and of course, your financial contributions.